Well, ladies and gentlemen, g'day, and welcome to the launch of Ultra Test 2, which is going to happen in about 2 days for you guys. If you didn't catch the live stream, now, just keep in mind, the live stream happened at 3 o'clock in the morning for me. Okay, I'm asleep. I got work early in the morning. Look, I'm dedicated to making daily content for you guys, but I'm not that dedicated where I'll literally stay up just to watch the live stream. But nonetheless, I'm going to showcase just the key points of the live stream and break down exactly the type of changes that have been happening that I feel like is worthy of your time. Now, do keep in mind that everything that has changed is also subject to be changed as well based on your feedback. So any feedback that you have regarding the changes that have been made, please, I reiterate to you guys, put them in writing. Let Wargaming know. Let them know what you really think of all the changes that they've been made. Now, obviously, the biggest one for Ultra Test 2 is, of course, the tech trees, as you're going to hear right now.
Make it like a little balance between our new vision and the old vision with the tech trees. So, without further ado,
So, as you can see, the tech trees are back. And I say that point in the biggest quotation marks of all time. They are not back. People have this misconception that, tech trees are back, sick. No. Tech trees are not back. They are not back in Ultra Test. No. All that they've done, Wargaming's done, is they've listened to our feedback about tech trees being in Ultra Test. I even made a whole video where I basically suggested to the devs to incorporate sets in a way that look like tech trees. And thankfully, they listened. I'm not saying they listened specifically to me, but I'm just saying I did put a video out there, and I did mention specifically that point about making sets look like tech trees. That's exactly what they've done here. They've made sets look like tech trees, as Tony is going to explain.
So, looks kind of like tech tree.
Yeah, but it's not super the same as we are used to in the current version.
Exactly.
Let's review the changes.
As Alexandra said, it's not the same as what we have now in regular Blitz.
So you can filter all the nations, switch from one to another. One of the important things.
I am going to showcase to you what this looks like in the actual Ultra Test 2. I'm going to jump on my account and I'm going to show you, in separate videos. But for now, as I said, I'm just breaking down the main points of the stream. And this was one of the biggest points. And yes, there is filters and what that you can actually toggle where you can have it looking like columns, or you can looking like branches where they're in line, sort of. I'll show you what they look like. You also got, of course, the collector and premium selection that you can click. There's a little tab there that you're able to click. So that's also a very important point there. But the point I'm trying to make is, it's in a more familiar format to what we're used to. Now, obviously, there have been some concerns when Wargaming released their video talking about the changes that they made and making sets look like tech trees. And people still seem to want to have tech trees in Ultra Test 2. Don't get me wrong, I too don't really like sets. I'll be completely honest with you. I get where they're coming from with it, but I personally don't like sets. If anything, I kind of don't want them in the game. I kind of just want tech trees to remain. But again, there is no denying that it's nice to see that sets now look like tech trees. But yeah, so when you log in, you'll be able to, when you click on the tech tree icon, I'm going to show you what I mean later on. You'll be able to see this, right? You'll be able to see this. What's new? You've unlocked 42 new sets, for instance, or 50 sets, or 20 sets, or whatever it may be. And it shows you all this here, and it shows you how much premium tanks you got, how many collector tanks you got, how many normal tanks you have, like the tech, quote-unquote, the tech tree tanks that you've got. And then, obviously, you'll be able to, squander around, or like sort of look around in the different, the nations, which is something that really pissed a lot of people off, because when we went to the selection tab in Ultra Test 1, you didn't have this sort of section. So it's nice to see that they've brought this aspect back from the tech trees, which is, of course, having the nations on the side where you can click on it, and then that's all the tanks that you own that are on the nations. Now, obviously, it's not going to showcase tanks that you don't have. It will showcase tanks that you don't own in terms of like the tech tree tanks, as you say, or the tanks that are grindable. And they will show tanks that like premium tanks, collector tanks that you can purchase but you don't own as well. If you click the tab. Now, see that there, right there, what he's clicked? So he's gone from column or whatever it was to row, and it gives you a different sort of format in a sense. So it's a different sort of outlook or a different sort of view. So again, it's not exactly a tech tree. It's just meant to look kind of like a tech tree, so it's more familiar to us. Now, again, I want to make absolutely clear, if you do not like this change, please let me know in the comments down below so I can pass it on to Wargaming as feedback that you don't like this change and you would rather just have tech trees, or you would rather just have sets as they were before, because you can actually see that, by the way. You can still see that set as it is if you don't want to see this tech tree thing, right? Or if you actually like the changes that they made. See, this is more like what you would expect from a tech tree, kind of, right? Or if you actually prefer to have this sort of thing, and you actually, you know, commend Wargaming for actually listening to us and giving us kind of what we wanted. You know what I mean? That's tech trees right now. Let's move on to something else. All right, this is also another big thing which we were talking about, which was of course the all tanks selection screen. And as I spoke about it in my previous video on this specific topic, this area here that you can see is very, very well sought after. They actually made very good improvements. So credit where credit is due. Wargaming, you did a good job here by actually including all the tanks that are in the game. So that way, if we're looking for a specific tank and we don't know what it looks like or whatever, or if it's a collector tank or a premium tank, whatever it may be, then we can see it through here, and you can select what kind of vehicle you want. In a sense, you can select, from the tab over there. You can select from the the nations, if it's a premium tank, if it's a collector tank, if it's a tech tree tank, if it's a light tank, medium tank, heavy tank, etc., 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 etc. You'll be able to see all that, which is actually really, really nice, and I actually like that. Now, I will say this, just so you know. Though the T7, which are the T10s, are no longer going to be T7s, okay? They're going to be called T10s. They're going to be called T10s once again. Thankfully, they listened to us and they understood how confusing having T7 as a T10 tank is, because it's been 11 years and we've known T10 tanks to be T10 tanks. And now you're changing it to T7 tanks, and it's really, really confusing. So, kudos to Wargaming for actually listening to us. I want to hear what Tony's actually saying right now.
Scroll it any way you want, but you can also a bit tighten the search theme, and you can pick nation, for example. I only want.
So I like what he said there, where you can literally scroll any way you want, up, down, left, right, diagonally, which is cool. So yeah, it's quite an interesting thing. As you can see, he's going diagonal and whatnot. And finally, you're able to actually search for the tank that you want. Instead of having these weird-ass names that we had in Ultra Test 1, completely stuffed up everything. Thank God. You can actually search exactly what kind of tank you want or what set you want in the search tab, which is great. Okay, moving on to the next aspect of the stream.
And all flags. A bunch of flags we have here. All the Japanese guys.
Okay, so this is very interesting what he's doing right now. So you can actually pre-select sort of things. But I like the fact that, let me just pause it there. I like the fact that the flags now, all the nations, actually represent the kind of tanks that we want. So we got Australian tanks, Irish tanks, Canadian tanks, Swedish tanks, Italian tanks, Polish tanks, Czechoslovakian tanks, you name it. The list goes on, right? Which is actually really cool. I like that. I like the fact that they actually implemented that specific thing. So that's a big plus on my end. So yeah, very, very nice touch there, in my honest opinion.
About the sets.
We're getting there.
Sure.
Yeah, we're not omitting the topic. We're not omitting
So
sets.
people in the stream are going crazy about the sets.
Dive into it a bit
Okay. Let's just pause this here for a second. Actually, I'm going to turn down the volume. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but the colors of the tank indicators, what kind of tank it is, the points, right, the teams, they're all gone. The colors that we had before in Ultra Test 1, which were confusing as fuck, excuse my language, but they were, they're back to what we're used to, which is great. It's great to see that they actually listened to us and implemented that. So thank you, Wargaming, for actually bringing back such a little thing like that, which is very important.
But also we have one more important day, Thursday, May 28th. During this day, we'll start distributing test builds to you guys. So we'll publish a big news article that has all the links and also instructions and guides on how to participate. Main thing, you don't need no registration.
Oh,
no
that's
registration,
cool.
no pre-sign-ups, no...
Ooh, okay.
So everyone who downloads the test build will be able to participate. That's important.
That is awesome news.
Please keep in mind that if you download builds on Thursday, like if you want to give your like
listen guys, listen to this.
Download everything to make sure like download is finished and correct and blah blah blah. But on Thursday you won't be able to actually log into the game. So you can download it, so you have like some time in advance for preparations. But you only will be able to log into the game in the middle of the day, Friday, the next day after you download it.
On Friday or on Thursday?
You can download on Thursday, but you can play on Friday.
Okay, so in case you guys didn't miss it, because of the accents or whatnot, but yeah, they speak pretty good English. Let's face it. I know some people are like, oh, I don't really understand it. They speak good English. Please, just stop. It's okay. I've encountered way more people that literally English is their first language and they're fucking horrible. Anyway, my point being, you can actually download the Ultra Test 2. There's going to be instructions and links and whatnot that are going to be made on Thursday the 28th of May. Now, for me here in Australia, anyone who is Australian, you guys are going to get it most likely towards the end of the day on the 28th, or most likely on the morning, very, very early morning on the 29th, on the Friday. Whereas everyone else, you guys are going to have it, on the 28th of May. Now, what it means is you can actually download the client and you can wait until the official announcement that you can actually go ahead and play on the test server, which is great. And it's also great to hear that you don't need to register your interest and register to actually become an Ultra Tester. Everyone is going to be welcome to test, which means getting into games is going to be super easy and great. It's going to be awesome to play against you guys on the Ultra Test 2 server. So keep that in mind. I am going to be hopefully playing a lot more of the Ultra Test than I am with Blitz. So great. I can't wait to see you guys on the battlefield. And it's great to see that they're actually including a lot more of the community now. They're including all of us, which is what I want to see. That's exactly what I want to see, community involvement. So kudos to Wargaming here for doing that. It's great. Oh, look, it's Rowan. For those of you who don't know who Rowan is, he's a legend.
FPS be available.
So
whoa, hold on. Sorry,
Tony,
what?
question from you.
Go ahead.
From you.
Me?
Yeah. Will the 120 FPS be available?
That's a good question.
So that's a good question.
Thank you, Tony.
We have it in the build. 100 FPS is supported. I have an iPad Pro and it's here.
Yes.
Whether it works 100% as intended, I can't say so.
Well, we got to test it out, can't we?
So it's
Surely.
still some polishing and optimization
for God's sake.
Should be needed. Should be done here. So while technically it's supported, you might not see it at all times, even you have powerful device like iPad Pro M4, which is like one of the latest. Especially it's relevant for streamers. We had this internal sessions trying to hook up the iPad and see how it works on potential streams.
Right.
So for now, 120 FPS is not it's not perfect. It could be better, and we're working to make it better. So for now, I'd recommend for every supported device use 60 FPS, but that's
right. So it turns out that 120 FPS is technically supported in quotation marks, but it hasn't been fully tested out yet, which was actually a very good question posted by one of the guys in the chat. So kudos to whoever did that. Good on you. It's interesting to see that they're actually considering implementing it, which is actually very, very nice. It's something that we've been wanting for a long time. And it's great that, Unreal Engine 5 can handle that. It's just, can the devices that obviously can handle 120 FPS actually handle that with Unreal Engine 5 and what Blitz Reforged. Now,
Not on Friday, sorry guys.
Oh my god.
Yeah, a bit.
Did we really do it?
A bit lost.
Okay, so did you guys see the consumables on the bottom? They look like soda cans or something, or energy drinks. Yeah, so now they've changed the aesthetics of that. To be fair, I don't really give a shit about that. I honestly do not care. It's like the most subtle change ever. It's meaningless. Fair enough, they want to change it, they want to make something different. Cool. It doesn't really bother me. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the other things. Now, you can probably notice the graphics look better than what they were in Ultra Test 1. You'll notice that the foliage, the tank designs, the maps themselves look more refined and they look more detailed than they did in Ultra Test 1. Now, do keep in mind, again, this is just a test client. So the final sort of rendition is going to be the most optimal. But again, it's great to see that they did actually implement what I thought they implemented. Now, there is, of course, an improvement in the armor inspector or the armor indicator, whatever you want to call it. You can toggle between default being, of course, what we're used to. You can toggle between reverse or like inverted, which is fucking weird. Please, anyone who does that is clearly dyslexic and needs to seek help. It is confusing as hell because, green is parts where you can't penetrate and red is parts where you can penetrate.
What are they available on Steam? Yes.
Hold on.
Let's proceed.
This is also an interesting question.
Sure I won't
Here we
mess
go.
up anything
Yeah.
else.
I
think battle we wanted, or we have some more questions.
Just a quick answer again about the platforms. Will the game be available on Steam?
Yes.
The
Yes,
test
both
will
Steam
be
Windows
available on Steam.
and Steam macOS.
Yeah.
Yes, it will be,
So
which is
let's-
good. So for those of you that play on Steam, sick.
Let's proceed. What else have we changed on this test?
A bunch of things. So let's switch to the battle whenever we're ready, and see like actually what we build around the whole systems that are like battle related.
Let's see.
Probably gameplay is the most important part, right?
Sure.
Okay, so probably you can already see on the stream that.
That the boosters look cartoonish.
Yeah, the
again,
cartoonish
probably
boosters,
one of
yeah.
final things, but I'm not sure about the boosters
Yeah,
themselves. Actually,
guys, just want to make sure that we see your feedback. Please proceed with the
You hear
comments,
that,
with your
guys?
thoughts. Everything
Feedback.
is taken into
Feedback.
consideration. Share your thoughts, and we are super open. I believe that you can see how many things have been changed.
Okay, I'll turn the volume down now. Feedback is very, very important, okay, guys? Feedback is very important. So this is Dead Rail. It looks better than what it did in Ultra Test 1. You can't deny it does look better. That's a Tracer Cells, by the way. You know, the thing coming off the tracks. I am curious to know whether okay, so your tank does actually get the powder off or rather the, whatever it may be, the sediments or whatever you want to call it, the snow is covering the tank itself. I do like the implementation of the different designs of the houses here. It looks more natural to some extent. I'm hoping to see someone actually hit the side of the building so I can see the, what do you call it? Yeah, whatever. Okay, you're not going to see that. Anyway, another thing obviously that we know about Ultra Test is that standard ammunition and of course HE are unlimited ammo. You don't have to pay for it. And the only thing that you're paying for is of course the Pramo. So do keep that in mind. Yeah, very, very interesting indeed. You can see the armor indicator has not been touched because it's a default, which is exactly what we wanted. So thank you, Wargaming, for listening to us and actually doing it. Now let's talk about something else that they've changed as well. Hopefully they're going to showcase it here right now. Okay, so remember when Ultra Test 1 didn't have any stats? Well, stats are now back. And people were saying that win rate is not going to be shown. The win rate is shown. I can assure you the win rate is shown. It's just not going to be front and center, which is quite annoying because a lot of people actually want to have their win rate front and center when you click on their stats, right? So you click on the profile and you see the stats. So Wargaming, one piece of advice that I want to give to you and feedback that I'd like to give to you that I think other people have as well is just give us a toggle. Give us a toggle. Give us a switch of some sort of a toggle that we can go into settings and toggle our win rate on and off if you want to show it or if you don't want to show it. That's my advice. That would be my feedback to you. I've been saying this for a long time since Ultra Test 1 came out. Just do that, please. Okay, so that way, obviously your medals and your achievements are also going to be there, so, you know, just chillax. So that's good to hear. what else did they change? They changed quite a few things, which is good. Even little nuances as well. Oh yeah, credits are now called silver. I've brought that up in another video. Why? Why do you need to change the currency's name? It's been credits for 11 years. Just keep it as credits. Why would you make it silver? It's just confusing to people now. So all those videos about how to make, tanks that make the most credits is basically irrelevant now because it's called silver. Just call it credits. If you wanted to call it silver, you could have called it silver from the very beginning. Like what do we got? Gold and silver now? It's the doubloons. Is that what it is? We're turning into freaking what's that pirate game? What's that pirate game where you used to attack the different islands? Someone tell me in the comments down below what I'm referring to. Also, they recalibrated or sort of redone the sets now. That there are certain tanks that they've removed from certain sets and put it in sets that they've seen more obviously, obvious to be in, and sets that are actually compatible with the type of tank and gameplay and the nation of the tank. So it's nice to see that they've improved upon that. Again, I'm not entirely against sets. I think they're an interesting implementation, but to be fair, I would prefer to have tech trees because it's what we've had for a long time. So yeah, interesting. Okay, this is a very important point. This is one of the biggest points that I've made about Reforged. And of course, we're talking about your resources. Let's have a look and see what they talk about in terms of resources. Let's see what they say, because I'm very interested in seeing what they say.
Okay, ready? So I'll just reproduce all the steps. So press your avatar, then you go to storage, and then you switch to tanks tab. And here you can see, like in my case, based on my personal account, don't pay attention to strings on the right. They're not final. It will be fixed, not sure for the Ultra Test 2, but probably a bit later. You can see all the certificates for all the tanks you're able to restore.
Cool. So you will have the opportunity to restore the tank that you have sold, but you will have this opportunity only once, because in the Reforged update, you cannot sell the tanks, but you can restore them. Can you restore any of
Interesting.
the vehicles
Sure.
that you have?
Just to avoid confusion, the text description on the right says may contain, but it contains.
It contains
Yeah,
just
it's
for
not a chance it's not containing a tank. So let's try it.
Go restore it.
Interesting.
And you can check out the new fancy animation. Boom.
Boink.
Right.
Cool. Once again, you will have this opportunity to restore the tank only once, because you cannot sell it in the Reforged.
Yeah,
So,
that's a big
Once
problem
you
right
restore
there.
it,
You can't
stays
sell
free
tanks in
with you
Reforged.
forever.
yeah. All the certificates for the tanks that you are able to restore will be waiting for you in the storage. Let's get back to the player profile and show the stats.
Okay, so this is an interesting thing that I think needs to be raised as well. When they're talking about restoration, how do you do that? That's the biggest question I think that a lot of people have. So it's great that they're actually giving us certificates to restore tanks that we've sold previously, which is great. I'm just hoping that it's a sense where we can restore the tanks that we've sold, but they're actually compensating us for that. Be like, hey guys, we're going to give you all these tanks back that you've previously sold as a token or a gift, which would be great, because let's face it, it doesn't cost them anything to just give it to us at the end of the day, right? Many of us have tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of gold worth of tanks that we've sold, correct? I mean, you can't really say no, because it's just facts. So restoration is a big thing. I'm going to make a separate video on this because I feel like it desperately needs a video on its own just on restoration. And I think it needs to be addressed because it's a huge thing. It really is a big aspect of everything. And I think I'm pretty sure I covered most of the things that I spoke about. I'm going to go through the stream again just to make sure I didn't miss anything. So stay tuned. Yeah, someone asked a very important question about customizing controls. Yes, there's more customization now, just like we have in regular Blitz, which is good. Also, commanders, they've changed the design of the commanders, which is really cool. I'm pretty sure they addressed that later on in the stream. I'll probably show a video of that. I've gone ramble on a bit too much now. So it's good, controls, whatever. Also, the commanders, you can switch between having commander voice or national crew voices, which is what we want. So thank you, Wargaming, because the cringy ass lines that some of the commanders have were well, to say the least, they were pretty crap. Yeah. So yeah, it's good to see that they're actually listening. So let's have a look if there's anything else we missed, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so as you can see, commanders look different now. Duncan actually looks like a tank commander with a cane for some reason. Looks like Triple H almost. He looks like Triple H. Olivia Vasquez. Oh my god. She actually looks like she is a combatant, or apart from the skimpy looking crop top. Other than that, she looks like she actually is a combatant, which is nice to see. I like seeing this. This is what we wanted. Now, I'm all for having commanders. I think they're an interesting addition. If they implement it correctly and actually give us every crew skill that we've grinded in this, I'll be more than happy. Okay? Wargaming, you better make sure that happens. Okay? So they changed the designs. I'm all for having commanders if you can give us different skins that we can put on them. I think that'll be awesome. Right? Having them look like this is cool, but I think Amunet made this point. I think they'll look awesome if you can have events and whatnot where you can win different skins, which is awesome. Now, paying for commanders? Absolutely not. No. Commanders should not be paid for because they are our crew skills. But having skins and different designs, maybe. That's a form of monetization I think I'll be happy to be behind. I don't really care. I'm pretty sure a lot of us would like to have commanders that look really cool. I do like the fact that some of the commanders were next to tanks in the garage. I'd much prefer to have that as well. So, if you can bring that back, that'd be nice. And maybe better lines. Like, imagine having Jason Statham as a tank commander. That's awesome. And he has a special crew skill. Just like Water Tanks PC. You can have Jason Statham or what's his name? Freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger. You can have them as your commanders. Your tank commanders or your tank captains or whatever you want to call them. Right? And they are the ones that actually have the voice lines. You can even have Quickie Baby, for God's sake. I wonder if they're going to make a Chems one. That'd be interesting. Anyway, all right, ladies and gentlemen, look after yourselves, look after your friends and family. Peace in the Middle East, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.